You are now entering the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5, sponsored by Pueblo Medical Imaging.
Well, we are missing the Runnin' Rebels this week. We would be real busy with them right now, but their season has been put on pause for 2 weeks after head coach TJ Otzelberger tested positive for COVID-19. Now, we were hoping to see the guys soon when they were scheduled to return to play against San Diego State on January 2nd at the Thomas and Mack. But that 2-game series has now been postponed due to positive cases on the UNLV men's basketball program. So now the Runnin' Rebels' next game will be on January 7th when they travel to Colorado State for a 2-game series. So let's just take a look at the month of December for the Rebels. The Eastern Washington game canceled, the Pepperdine game canceled, the Wyoming trip postponed, and now the San Diego State games postponed. So we checked in with head coach TJ Otzelberger earlier this week to see how he's doing after he tested positive for COVID-19 and how his players are doing while they've been on a pause for 2 weeks. Take a listen. Well, Coach, it's good to see you. How are you doing? Glad to see you're doing better.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's great to visit with you. Been fortunate to have very mild symptoms, so on the mend now, and excited to get back to a little bit of normalcy and get out of this room that I've been isolated in.
Well, talk to me about the past 2 weeks. What was last Monday like? Just hours before tip-off, before Pepperdine. What were the conversations like with your players and your staff?
Well, our guys were really excited to have an opportunity to play. And, we had a game prior. We weren't able to play because of COVID protocols. So our guys were excited to get out there. We had just gotten through final exams. So to have that opportunity, I think that weight and that stress of the finals being lifted, our guys were really excited. And then I found out in the middle of our shoot around, some of our results had come back and I had a positive test. And so, we weren't able to play that game that night. And I know, again, the guys getting in the mindset to play, we're in the midst of shoot around and not having that opportunity. We've all gone through a lot of challenges. It's been a really difficult year for many. And I think that's one of those challenges for our guys, that it's hard to explain. You don't really understand. And you know that in the end, we just want to do what's safe and follow protocols and procedures that go with COVID. So it was tough. It was tough for our guys, and hard to not have that opportunity.
So what happened next? Did they stay on campus? Were they able to go home? Are they quarantining? What happened after Monday?
Well, we were hopeful that, based on our schedule and what was going to happen from there, our program, we went on a pause, and we were hopeful in lieu of, mental health and, just the opportunity for our guys to have a chance to get home. We were hopeful that they could do that. So then we shifted gears and tried to start making plans for our guys to get home for the holidays, at least those that could. And so that was a new twist that we weren't sure we'd be able to do, just with everything surrounding COVID and our schedule and getting ready for conference play. But it looked like it was going to come to fruition. And then, unfortunately, that wasn't able to happen. There was, some more challenges in dealing with COVID that we had hit us and put us in a spot now where the guys have been here. Many of them have been quarantining, isolating, depending on what their particular circumstance is or was. And so they've been, kind of just staying to themselves, staying in their room and trying to be safe. So it's sad when you think about it this time of the year, when you want the young people in your program to be able to have that time with their family. I know we make a lot of sacrifices, and that part of this is we play games around the holidays, and sometimes a Christmas break might be a couple days, but to not have that opportunity at all is tough. And it's even more of a challenge when you're not allowed to, or you're not able to leave your room, or you're in an isolation, because it just makes you feel probably that much more lonely. So we're trying to do everything we can to, stay in communication with our guys on a daily basis, to try to uplift their spirits and keep them positive. And their families have been great. We've had Zoom calls with families and trying to find creative ways to to keep them uplifted. So, but certainly dealt with our share of challenges here, and we know that we're going to keep doing what's safe, and we're going to keep following the protocols, and hopefully in the not too distant future, things will somewhat normalize again for us.
What has it been like working virtually? Have you guys still been able to get work done, still talking about practice and games, or is it total like no basketball at all right now?
What we've tried to do, and I know for myself, I've been able to go through, watch a lot of our practices, rewatch our games and really evaluate what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so that part of it's, I've enjoyed just really breaking things down. Certainly in planning practice plans and strategies as we move forward. I know that for myself, we've had to regroup a few times. You get, hey, this is what we're going to do for the next couple weeks. And then there's another challenge, and all right, well, now we have to regroup and go this way. And so it's trying to find ways to be prepared for every scenario, and at the same time being highly adaptive, because depending on how tests come back and news we're given and different things that go along with COVID, there's different challenges that we have to be able to adapt to. And so all you can do is take it one day at a time, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, looking at your schedule ahead, is it interesting to kind of flip the script? You're playing San Diego State, you're not playing San Diego State, on to Colorado State. I mean, is it kind of challenging as a coach to be like, okay, now we got to move on to this team, or are you just swift with it?
Well, the one thing is that I've tried to spend the time doing is watching everybody in our league play and watching their games and breaking things down. So instead of just focusing all your effort and attention on one team, you're looking at each team. What's their strengths? What are their defensive schemes? What are they trying to execute offensively? Who are some of the new faces and players that they're key for them to do what they do? And so I think it takes studying the league as a whole. And again, there's a few more games tonight we'll be able to see. And then for me, I like to watch them live and then watch them, break down the film after and go through it in a little more detail. So I think you've got to continue to watch everybody and study everybody. And then when you know who that next opponent is going to be, that's when you really do a deep dive into everything they do, the DNA of their team, and what we can do to put ourselves in position to be successful for that game or those two games.
Coach, what will be the biggest challenge when you come back to the basketball court, when you come back to practice? Your guys will have maybe 3 weeks off now, maybe, but what will be the challenge when you guys get back to practice?
Well, I think first it's that reconnection. It's the mental health. It's the, making sure our guys are doing well. It's just seeing the looks on their face, being able to talk to them, being able to spend that FaceTime. I know these, Zoom calls are great, and FaceTime and those sort of things. It's not the same as being in person. And so number one is just their well-being, making sure, seeing how they're doing. I think second is obviously is the conditioning and getting in shape. Like you mentioned, there's going to be guys on our team that have been off for more than 3 weeks. And, that takes a lot to get that conditioning back. And there's a mental aspect to it and a physical aspect. You also want to be mindful of injury prevention, because I think the last thing you want to do is you come right back and on the first or second day after you haven't been able to do anything, now you're going full speed. And that's when I think injuries occur. So really being mindful of what they've gone through, trying to rebuild bodies and trying to get their the bodies back in that basketball shape, mentally and physically. So I think there's the aspect of the people part, the connecting and the caring about them. There's the physical part. And then look, I think hopefully this break will give us a tremendous gratitude and humility for the things that you have, and really need to recognize how important that is, because we've seen this year and through COVID for all of us that things can be taken from us. So making sure that we're really appreciative for what we do have and make the most of it.
And what have your players been telling you this time? What are you hearing from your guys? Are they excited to get back to the court, but maybe even more excited to be back together?
I think you hit it on the head. It's that part of team sports is being together, being in that practice forum, the film sessions, it's a lot of the banter before practice or after practice, or some of those things that get lost sometimes. I think, young people can really connect to and have some of those moments and life experiences. And, I know they want to get back to the practice court, but I think as much as anything, it's just getting back together, having this game, which means so much to all the guys on our team. Have it taken away from them is one thing, but then having their friends and their peer group taken away is an even bigger thing. So we're excited to get them back together and be able to spend that time and just see their faces and each group has its own personality and kind of, get that personality back for our squad.
And lastly, Coach, just what are you telling your players? What's your message during this time when they're at home to stay positive and keep checking up on them?
Well, I think when you check with them, I think trying to give them tools and resources and things they can do for themselves, both to be productive and kind of get a mental break. So there's different books we read a lot as a team that we're talking about. There's, film and clips we can send them to watch. There's games on TV, whether it's college or now with the NBA starting, just studying some things that way can be good. So I think, being productive is certainly part of it, but then also for them to try to still stay connected with each other, because that's such a big part of this game is how does a team function together? How do they enjoy being around each other? And so even though the basketball it hasn't been there for us, it's still trying to find those times to connect and crack jokes and just be upbeat. So I think anything we can do to uplift their spirits and so they know how much we care about them, how important they are, and try to keep them positive. Those are what we're really trying to do. Well,
we can't wait to see you guys, and we hope you guys have a safe and Merry Christmas and everything, but fingers crossed we see you guys soon.
Sounds great. We really appreciate it, Paloma. Thanks so much.
And coming up next, we sit down with UNLV football's only local signee right now in their 2021 class, wide receiver Aaron Holloway from Legacy High School, who's expecting a big year next season with Coach Arroyo. Well, Marcus Arroyo's record-breaking 2021 early signing class is welcoming one local player to UNLV, wide receiver Aaron Holloway from Legacy High School, the number 12 prospect in all of Nevada, who Arroyo says is one of the most explosive guys in the entire country. Coach also says, yeah, he can run fast, jump high, and play fast, and it all shows up on the tape that he watches. Arroyo says he's fired up for what this local kid will bring to his offense. Well, I sat down with Aaron earlier this week to hear why he chose UNLV and how excited he is to be a part of a historic recruiting class with the Rebels. Your family, are they excited to keep you here in Vegas?
Yeah, they was excited to keep me here because I kept telling them I wanted to go away. And I feel like it was better if I stay here because I still have their support. I would have had it farther, but it's here.
Well, speaking of your family, I hear you have a very special story with your family, and it's important for you to put on for your family here in Vegas. Tell me a little bit about your story.
So me, when I was 11 or 10, I don't really remember, I was adopted by my elementary school principal and my basketball coach. And we've been living with them for 7 years, and it's changed my life. I started playing sports because of them. It's been real different.
Why UNLV? What was it about Marcus Arroyo and his program that was appealing to you?
What it was about UNLV is I see that they're trying to build something, the new coaching staff, the new playbook. I feel like the playbook really fits me. The new stadium, the Raiders are out here now, so I got an NFL team on watch at any time. So, and it's my hometown. I love it here. I feel like I'm gonna do good here. I'm gonna be straight.
What do you want to work on and improve on and get better at your first year at UNLV?
My first year, what I'm really looking forward to get better at is my route running, probably getting off the line. I have the speed, I can catch, I feel like. But that's really what I'm looking for. I feel like Coach Samuel, he has the experience to teach me that. So, and we already have a close relationship, and he gets along with my family, so we're gonna be good.
And to wrap it up, what do you think about your 2021 class? Have you talked to any of the guys, or have you texted anyone, or what do you think about your class?
Yeah, I like our class. I think we're really talented. We have our group chat where we talk to each other about the games. We watch the games and be texting about the games, about what's going on. So I feel like we already have a close bond. We just can't wait to see each other. That's all. We just doing everything virtually now. We can't wait.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your future, man. Congrats. Feels probably good to put that pen on paper. Like,
yeah, it's common.
Nice.
It's career now.
Yes. Well, have a great Christmas. Enjoy your break. And yeah, we'll see you on campus.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, see ya.
Bye.
And coming up next, we check in with the Lady Rebels head coach Lindy LaRocque, who is proud of her team putting up a monster game against LMU this week, setting a school record of 15 three-pointers against the Lions, improving to 3-4 this season. We'll catch up with the Lady Rebels next.
You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5, sponsored by Pueblo Medical Imaging.
Well, the Lady Rebels improved to 3-4 this season after dominating LMU on Monday afternoon, 95-59, hitting a school record 15 three-pointers in the first half. Jade Thomas and Delaney Bird going off, combining for 48 points. Here's more from Lindy LaRocque on how her Lady Rebels are improving this season.
It's nice to end on a really positive note here before the Christmas break. Everyone get to enjoy their holiday maybe a little bit sweeter. But we have our work cutting out for us, starting back with conference play through the rest of the season. So now is really when we see what we're made of. Proud of our growth over this preseason, and just really, really happy with kind of our contribution from everyone tonight.
The Lady Rebels will travel to San Diego State for a 2-game series starting on Thursday, December 31st. We'll wrap up the show after the break as we leave you guys with the Runnin' Rebels Run It Back episode, because, we just missed them so much. We'll be right back.
You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5, sponsored by Pueblo Medical Imaging.
All right, so we won't see the Runnin' Rebels for another week and a half. Fingers crossed for their trip to Colorado State. I'm sending them all the good vibes for the rest of their season, as I hope they're all doing well and staying safe and healthy. We'll leave you with their Run It Back episode because we just miss them. We just want to see their faces more and more. Enjoy, guys. We'll see you next week.